I have to do the little jazz hands because A, I'm happy. B, I never know when it's going to say I'm live and when I'm not live. I know I'm alive, but it doesn't always tell me when I'm live. So, um, yeah, how does it get any better than that? Welcome. It's the 1st of February. And this particular broadcast is streaming to my private group in Facebook, which is called the Space of Possibilities with Rachel. You're invited there. I think there's a link beneath. Well, there's definitely the bit.ly link beneath, and there you have a way of finding the group. In the month of December, I played with different themes and different videos in that group. The month of January, we did all sorts of musings and destroying and uncreating the past and all sorts of other fun stuff in that group. And today is February 1st. So onwards and upwards to a new adventure, because isn't it always fun to choose different things and to create? So one of my very favorite things to do in the world is read. I love reading. I could be on the hammock and reading. I could be out on the grass, just, laying back and reading. I've got these amazing chairs on the balcony here where I'll often lean back with a book, or in this case, it's not a book. It's not well, it is a book, but it is on my Kindle, which a Kindle app on the on the phone. Here you go. And so I chose to, for the month of February, and this first one is streaming in a couple of different places as well. But generally, I will be inside the group. Who knows? Maybe I'll keep streaming. I have no idea. But I love the books of access consciousness. I'm also a bit of my brain goes in 10,000 directions always, and conversations head and multiple tracks always. But that's just part of the gift of me being me. And that's one of the things that I love to celebrate. It's also one of my strengths, even though you kind of have to follow my train of thought a little bit to be able to get things. So what I chose to do for the month of February as joy and fun and hopefully contribution for other people as well is to pick up some of my favorite access consciousness books. No rhyme, no reason, and no fucking idea the previous day even what I'm going to pick up on a specific day. We are not reading through the entire book. We are just grabbing a little snippet, reading it out loud, and then whatever pops, stream of consciousness, I hope it can be a contribution to you. So this one is almost the beginning of the Body Whispering book by Dr. Dane here. And you can find out more about Dane, about clearings, about all of that at accessconsciousness.com, theclearingstatement.com. You could go to his webpage, drdanehere.com, and you can find out all of that good stuff. But this one is his latest book that was published, I think, last spring, and it's called Body Whispering, and it is brilliant if you haven't read it yet. I've read it a couple of times, and the lovely thing about Access Consciousness books, just so you know, you read them once, you think you got it. No. Suddenly, you read them again, and you go, wow, like really? This was in there? How did that get in there? I don't remember that ever being in there, because you change. Your points of view change. Your blinkers, so to speak, that you've had on have kind of melted a bit, opened a bit, allowed you to see a different perspective on the world a bit. And the more you shift and change, the more you can see things showing up in an entirely different way. You're able to receive far more than you had been willing to receive beforehand. So this is the beginning of chapter 1 of Body Whispering book by Dr. Dane here. And it's called Energy, Relearning Your First Language. Let's begin by taking a moment to think about the many and varied ways we communicate with each other on this beautiful planet that we currently inhabit. What kind of methods of communication come to mind? How do we tell each other who we are, what we need, where we're going, or where we've been? We use our voices to speak in person, over the phone, sometimes via video calling. We write on paper and electronically. We send instant messages, share statuses online, write emails. We pen letters if we're feeling traditional, or we write books if we have something big to share. I love the fact that I wrote this book several months ago, maybe even years ago if you're coming to it a little later, and here you are, hearing me across time. You could be reading these words on a paper page or on a screen. You could even be listening to the audiobook. It hasn't come out yet, but it will be very soon. I'm excited. Some of us draw, paint, or make music to tell others who we are and what's important to us. When we're face to face, we don't just use speech, we use body language too. We widen our eyes in shock, or we roll them in frustration. We fold our arms when we're wary, or we throw them in the air when we're excited. You could say we've got verbal, written, and physical communication down to a fine art. What if there's another way to speak, converse, communicate? And what if we have so much more available to us than we realize? And what if accessing it could change our lives in phenomenal ways? And then he goes on to explain, and there's a longer explanation. I'm not going to get into all of it, but he's saying energy is your body's first language, and it's your first language. I'm going to pause for a moment in any case, and I would like to delve into that a little bit. So a lot of us have been fixated on communication has to look a particular way, and what if it doesn't? What if all of those rules that we've had as to how we're willing to receive information, how we're willing to perceive things, we could throw out, keeping the baby and tossing out the bathwater. In other words, keeping the communication element. But what if it didn't have to look one particular way? I mean, we are so invested as people on this planet to having things come in the language that we ask for, come in the format that we'd like, come in the way that we're willing to hear even somebody else speaking to us, that if it doesn't arrive, it doesn't land in our lap the way that we have predetermined that it has to show up, it's almost like it doesn't count. Good for nothing. We're not willing to see it or perceive it or even receive the gift that's beneath it. And it's fascinating. There's so many ways that this applies. And the reason I picked out that little snippet is to illustrate how often we're too fixated on the path or on the doorway and not on the journey for some, if you'd like that. We're trying to get somewhere, but we're not enjoying the trip as we're getting there. Another way of looking at it would be, how many doorways are in a place that allow you to be able to reach inside. When I was growing up, people would say, where there's a will, there's a way. Well, there's always a way. There's always a path. It's us and our points of view. It's us and our intent on having things only arrive the way that we've predefined them, judge them that they have to come that particular way. And we're the ones who've put in all of those filters, all of those rules, and all of those regulations. And what I love about the irreverence of the tools of access consciousness and the invitation of the tools of access consciousness is to trust you, to know that you know. What do you know about this? What do you know that's different? What are you aware of here? And when you tap into the energy, it doesn't matter what language it comes in. It doesn't matter if you're, a baby or 10 or 75. You have awareness. Energetic awareness. Your language is energy. And you could have 20 people from 20 different countries, each speaking a different language and supposedly have nothing in common. And yet when you lower barriers and when you're present with someone, you can see the humanity, the beauty, the presence, the gift that they be, because you're looking beyond that outside. You're looking beyond just the pathway, the premeditated, predictated, if you want to call it that, predicated, whatever, that it has to come a particular way. How could it show up? What could be different? When we're willing to be open and to allow things, allow communication, allow receiving, allow the gifts in to our lives beyond whatever we've thought before. We're not our thoughts, we're not our feelings, we're not any point of view that we've ever held onto before. We're not. Those are those. You are you. Your body is your body. And together, there's this dance that's available, this space that's available in the world. If you're willing to indulge in exploring it, in experiencing it. So it doesn't matter when something was written. I do something. I get together for a weekly reading with different facilitators and different people who've purchased, or access consciousness diehards, and they've purchased the access consciousness reference materials. So once you've taken certain classes, if you've taken a choice of possibility class, you can purchase all of the reference materials, and there are thousands of pages of information that have been taken out of the access consciousness manuals in many cases, like many years ago, like 2004, 2005, whatever. But when you read them, it makes no difference that it was written 15 years ago. It makes no difference that it was taken out of the manual because supposedly it doesn't run on more than 80% of the population, which is why it would be in a current manual if it runs on more than 80% of the people who'd be coming to class. But that stuff, if you're willing to receive the gift of it, keeps gifting. If you're willing to explore it, what are the kernels? What are the nuances? What are the awarenesses that you can receive from that? When you have a diagnosis of some sort. There was a communication and a different chat, and it really resonated for me. They were asking about a specific medical diagnosis. I'm not going to get into it too much, but I will say that that's a body's means of communicating with us. And in this particular case, they were speaking about something that creates a lot of pain in the body. Well, what if the pain isn't necessarily something that's to be avoided, but something to be received? And this sounds really, really odd, but what is the message that's beneath it? What's underneath what's going on there? There is more than meets the eye if we're willing to walk down the path and actually explore. And that's the invitation in the Body Whispering book. By the way, anybody who's got any issues with their body in any way, shape, or form, that book, Body Whispering with Dr. Dane here, is a gift that keeps on giving, because it opens up really a beginning of a conversation rather than a rejection of the body, or rather than blaming the body. You begin to include the body in your life and living. How often is there a gift in having a diagnosis of one sort or another? Nobody expects you to work in the same way that you did before. Nobody expects much, really, anymore. There is a gift, an underlying gift beneath the diagnosis. There's some way that it works for us. Well, what if communication with our bodies, for example, or communication with anything in the world would be like that too? What if we'd be willing to go beneath the "it comes in a different way than I've expected" and look at what is the energetic gift that I'm perceiving and receiving here? And when we're willing to begin to perceive the gift of something, we don't rush to our heads to dismiss it. So anywhere and everywhere that you've dismissed possibilities, awarenesses, joys, even ease, gifts, because it didn't coordinate with what you thought had to be, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that times godzillion, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I love that we don't have to speak the same language. We don't have to do things in the very same way. We could perceive what's going on beneath things. I'm sitting on a balcony. I don't know if you can see the palm trees moving in the background. Palm trees and another beautiful, what started out as a little Christmas palm and is huge now. See that one? Yeah. Probably have to replant it down somewhere where there's open ground rather than the top of the balcony, but still, it's enjoyed being here and contributing to us. But if you perceive, the trees may not speak in English or French or Spanish or Russian or Hebrew or whatever, Japanese, but they're communicating with us. If you're around little kids, around animals, you can see, you can perceive their willingness to perceive your energy. Are they growling? Are they coming up and asking to be pet? Are they trying to come up and contribute? Whenever we would have bars exchanges or energetic body work or anything in the living room, my cats would come up and participate. They would contribute. They would move energy. They would be willing to be the energetic contribution for something different. Now, if somebody comes in saying, I don't like animals, how much are they willing to receive? Now, this isn't about whether you like animals or not, whether you have cat allergies or not. What it is what's available beneath what you've already predetermined that you can't have and you can't be and you can't receive. How many times I remember when I first became a facilitator of access, somebody reached out to me from Paraguay, and they said, well, there's hardly anything in Spanish. And at that time, I was one of 4 certified facilitators who spoke any bit of Spanish, even though mine was just a bit. It's been getting better. But it was so interesting. It was so interesting to me that the only way he was willing to receive the gift of the tools was only if it would arrive in the language that he was looking for. He specifically had issues with money. Issues. Who issued it to him, I wonder. But he had issues, or he's predetermined that he's got problems receiving money, having money. And at that time, this was 2013, something like that. So it's been a few years and many things have changed since. But at that time, Dr. Dane had a free series on his email if you sign up, that it would send like 10 videos or something like that with different money tools, different awarenesses around money. It was very cool. And I asked him, did you sign up for that? And he said, no, that's only in English. And it made me laugh. And yes, I did laugh at him a little bit. I poked him. I said, if you're not willing to receive in English, how on earth are you willing to receive? Because everywhere that we say, nope, not that. Nope, not that. Nope, not that. No way. Not doing it. Not having it. Not like that. We're not only putting up a barricade to that one thing. We're actually putting up a barricade everywhere. And we don't even realize it. So where have you predetermined what can come into your world? Where have you predetermined what you can receive based on specifically the language? Now, in my case, I'm sort of trilingual, maybe quadlingual if I add energy. Speaking wise, I'm all right in speaking in Hebrew. In terms of reading and exact, I mean, I left when I was a little kid. So my Hebrew's not, A-OK-O. But I'm going through a book that a friend of mine wrote, and yes, I am using a dictionary to help me, but it isn't. Nope, I'm not going to read it. It doesn't have punctuation and vowels beneath the letters. I will not read it. No, it's, oh my God, my friend wrote a book. How exciting! And so I am doing whatever it takes to receive, whatever it takes, whether it's sleeping with it, holding it, opening it. I'm not taking a no, I can't. My world is, well, why the heck not? Let's see. I wonder. Surprise me, universe. How can this show up now? What else is possible now? What else is possible now? And when we approach the world, the whole big, wide, amazing, beautiful world, what else is possible? I'm willing to receive. I'm willing to wonder. Then everything opens up. Everything is available. Everything is possible. And it's up to us to open up and receive. And there's a tool in Access Consciousness that I absolutely love. And it goes very well with what we're talking about. And it is, all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. The mantra of Access Consciousness. Now, you don't see in this mantra, which if you go to a bars class or you read one of the Access books or anything, they'll mention the mantra many times. That you can use it as a tool. You can use it in lots of different ways. You can use it when you have a car accident, which I did a couple of weeks ago. And you can also use it when you get up in the morning. You can be brushing your teeth and repeating, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. You could be, walking through your house and singing to yourself, all of life comes with ease and joy and glory. And when you look at that, when you realize that it is a choosing in action, when you're willing to be, all of life comes to you with ease and joy and glory. You're not living from resistance. You're not living from reaction. You're not living from excluding anything. You're like, bring it on, baby, here I am. And then everything, whatever it is, can come with ease and joy and glory. Now, there's sucky stuff in life too. There's things like, if somebody would send me a book in Russian, I don't even know the Russian alphabet, but I'm going to celebrate that somebody has created something amazing in Russian. I do listen to clearing loops in other languages simply because I know that bypasses my exclusionary mind, my mind that doesn't mind leaving half of the world out, my mind that sadly sometimes twists things according to its point of view. I'm willing to look beyond all of that and begin to receive in a different way. So no, my body, and I was reading from the Body Whispering book, my body doesn't speak to me in English. It doesn't speak to me in Hebrew or Spanish or anything else that I can cognitively get an awareness of. But I'm willing to listen to the whispers of the universe that are around me and to the whispers of my body. That's that I'm within, and I can perceive things. I can perceive when something is tight and scrunchy and that's my no. That's my no. That's my no. You've crossed a line here. This doesn't work. And it happens many times, when there's something that I ask about, I can just perceive the beginning of a clenching and a compression in my universe. It's not for me. I let it go. When I perceive that something puts, I get the little smile before I even realize that I have a little smile, but everything is beginning to lighten up. That's my yes. I can trust that I know. And that's the whole target of Access, is empowering others to know that they know. When you know, everything is so much easier. And then you can receive everything with ease and joy and glory because you just, you trust yourself, that you're going to have ease with whatever comes because you're choosing it. And when you're choosing to have ease, you can even ask a question like, what would it take to have ease here? And things begin to shift and change. So I'm going to sign off until tomorrow during the whole month of February in that space of possibilities with Rachel Facebook group, I'll definitely be going live there. Who knows, I might still be going live to these other couple of places. We're on YouTube and my main Facebook page, I guess, not my personal, but my main. So you could see these there. There is no set schedule and time, just that it'll be every day. And each time will be a different book, maybe the same book, I don't know, but a different like snippet, a different idea, a different. This is going with my ADD brain. So I hope you enjoy. I'm starting to celebrate being a little different, and I don't know how to do it like other people do it. I don't know how to do it the way it's considered quote unquote normal, professional, and whatever else. That's okay. That works for other people. It doesn't work for me. So I'm going to do it in a way that's fun for me. And if you'd like even more, my friend, well, also in the Space of Possibilities group and in the Being You Without Hiding group, my friend Dr. Helen Gitlovich and I have been running. Today was day 12. You can already see the replay up there. It is not in YouTube. It is in the Facebook groups. We have clearings for change. They are access consciousness clearings. They are there and available for you. Like I said, every day is a little different. We never know when we pop up, and every day there are different clearings, and we repeat the mantra, and we repeat what's called the crazy phrase, and we do it in 4 different languages. Testing out your receiving. So we do it in English, in Spanish, in Russian, and in Hebrew. And that way, it'll A, expand your receiving, and B, be able to bypass your cognitive mind so that you don't have to figure everything out. You can actually perceive and receive in a gentler, easier way. If you're willing. Not everybody's willing. It takes willingness to do something like that. So anyway, we've had 12 days of that up already. You're certainly welcome to explore and enjoy it. And the links to both of those groups are in my link tree, which is beneath this video. And the other thing I wanted to say, next Tuesday, it'll be evening for me. I think it's 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be co-facilitating a wonderful Being You / Clarity Night on what are you unwilling to lose that stops you from being you, with my friend Veronica Parker. We're both Being You certified facilitators. We're both access consciousness facilitators. And this whole topic of what are we unwilling to lose has really been dinging in our universe, and we've been speaking about it over the last couple of weeks. And so we thought, hey, a class with that might change a whole lot in the world. So if you'd like to join us for that, you are invited, and links to it is also in my link tree. So you're welcome to explore that. And I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow with another snippet and possibilities. Mwah! Bye-bye.